Hey guys, Digger Jim here, back with another video. Today we're going to talk about the goals. I had goals last year of completing the Marvel Team Up Collection Volume 1 from 1 through 50, 1 through 150 and the annuals. I achieved that goal towards the end of the year, and what we're going to, I think the reason why I wanted to collect them all more than anything is you got an entire Spider-Man story in one comic, at best two. They would be two issues of the same story, but no more than that. And there was never any of this crossover crap where you had to go and buy five different, follow the story in five different comics that you may not even collect. They just do that now. I hate it, but that's the way they do it to make money. So let's get started. These are not all first appearances. They're just 10 interesting stories or interesting tidbits about different books in the collection in the run of Marvel Team Up. So let's get started. First one up, Spider-Man and the Ghost Rider, issue 15. This is actually the first time, at least according to Key Collector, this is the first time that Spider-Man and the Ghost Rider ever meet. So there's the first appearance of that, and the first time you ever see their villain, the Orb. He is a fellow motorcyclist who ends up being the villain in it, and they take him out. And it was 1973. The story was so-so. Lin Wen wrote it. Ross Andrew illustrated. Ron Perlman inked it. And Lin Wen's wife at the time, Glynis Wen, was the colorist. Pretty cool. Well, it took 17 issues before Spider-Man got tired. And on issue number 18, they say it on the first page that they're giving Spidey a break. And they end up bringing in the Human Torch and the Hulk teaming up to fight Blastar. I don't know if you guys know who Blastar is. He was from the Negative Zone, and he got over into Earth and fought the Fantastic Four. He finally ended up sort of meeting his doom with the X-Men. But in this story, a scientist bombards him with gamma radiation to revive him. And whenever he uses powers, the Hulk could hear it. And that's how the Hulk came involved in the play with it. And they just basically kicked his butt. And that's kind of the end of the story. That was also 1974. Gil Kane art in this one, which I thought was kind of cool. Next book up, Marvel Team Up number 40, Spider-Man and the Sons of the Tiger. I thought that was a cool exploding. It's like Kool-Aid Man. Oh, yeah. But these three guys, this are the Sons of the Tiger. They appear first time in the MCU in the Deadly Hands of Kung Fu issue 1 is their origin story. They all have an amulet. It's a jade amulet that's mystic that allows their fighting abilities to enhance. They all work together, and I think it increases their strength like, I don't know, threefold. But basically, in a nutshell, with this story, they save Spider-Man and the Human Torch. This was from 1975. This is Bill Melanto writer, Sal Buscema artwork with Mark Esposito, and Janice Cohen is the colorist. The one thing, and you can't really see it, you can kind of see it on the cover. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it into focus, but you can see that they have these three amulets, and one is a tiger head and two paws. Long story short, this guy and this guy are in a lover's triangle. They end up breaking up as a team. The guy throws the amulets in a dumpster in the alleyway, and down the line, Hector Alando or whatever his name is, he finds him and uses him to become the White Tiger. Don't ask me why they did it that way. They just did. Next book up, Spider-Man and the Incredible Hulk in a Marvel Team Up. Now, this is a two-parter. I remember what I said at the beginning. This story, you can carry over into two books. This is the beginning of it. It's 53 and 54. It's nothing special so much as the story. The story is okay. Um, it's a little weird, but this is the first time. This is inside is John Byrne drew the story. So it was 1977. Um, yeah, 1977. John Byrne art. Frank uh, G. I don't know. Frank somebody inked it, and Dan Warfield colorist. Now, what's amazing? It's the first time he ever drew the X-Men. So in 1977, if you ever want to see John Byrne's first art with the X-Men, it's in this book. It's not an X-Men book. It's this book. So check it out. Next book up, Marvel Team Up number 64. Spider-Man and the Daughters of the Dragon. And the Daughters of the Dragon are basically Misty Knight and Colleen Wing. That's Colleen Wing. And over here is Misty Knight. And they are fighting this guy in the middle, which is the Steel Serpent. He basically, this is the end of the story. It was issues 63 and 64. And he was trying to steal, or he did successfully steal, Danny Rand's Iron Fist Chi. But then in this issue, Danny Rand comes and gets it back. And, you know, Spider-Man's always got to be in the middle of it. This again was, this is Chris Claremont writing and John Byrne art. And I love the way John Byrne draws the Iron Fist. I think he's just amazing. But it was 1977. And there is a little bit of controversy in this book. Ooh, for Marvel. The first interracial kiss between Misty Knight and Danny Rand down here in the bottom, in which, not a big deal today, but in 77, in some places in America, that was kind of a big deal. So a little risque. But still a cool story, because I absolutely am a huge Iron Fist fan. Love him. All right, so the next book up, let's see. Where's it at? Yeah. Next book up, Spider-Man and the Not Ready for Primetime Players. This was, this was my fun book I threw in. This is issue number 74. It came out in 1978. Chris Claremont wrote it. Marie Severson inked and colored it. And it was just a fun book. John Belushi's character buys a ring, I think at an antique thing or something. Turns out it was Silver Samurai's teleportation ring, and he wanted it back. So Silver Samurai's the bad guy in this. If I remember correctly, I saw where Claremont did an interview and he talked about this book and how excited he was. They were like, hey, do you want to do a comic for Saturday Night Live? And he was like, yeah, because back then it was awesome. Next book up, Marvel Team Up issue 79, Spider-Man and Red Sonja. I think again this is from 1979. This is Chris Claremont and John Byrne. This is the first, I think the first issue where Terry Austin's the inker in it, and I love the way Terry Austin inked John Byrne's art. I thought the three of them together made the X-Men run incredible. It's just a fun story where MJ turns into Red Sonja. They're in a museum. The one security guard sees an amulet and touches it because it's glowing, and he gets possessed by the bad guy. She sees a sword that's glowing. She turns into Red Sonja. All right, so we will. So next book up, Spider-Man Marvel Team Up with the Fantastic Four. This is issue 100. It's a double-sized. This is the first appearance of Karma. Karma later goes on to be in the New Mutants, but in this issue, this is her first appearance. It's her story, and it encompasses basically her and her brother both had powers of possession to take people over. She takes over Spider-Man to get her, I want to say, niece and nephew away from a bad guy. Her brother, in the origin story, her brother comes to America and he turns bad. She stays good. They end up having a fight, and yeah, she wins, and he doesn't. But she is the first female to come out, the first gay female in the Marvel universe to come out as gay. I don't know if that means anything. This was 1980. Again, this is Chris Claremont's story, but this is Frank Miller. Um, Frank Miller art, and Bob, I can't say his name, Wychick art, and Gil Gefford on color. It's definitely Frank Miller. This says Miller and Jansen. So, I don't know. Art was so-so. Frank Miller, I can take or leave sometimes. Okay. So, next book up. I had to put this book in. It's Spider-Man and AntMan Marvel Team Up, issue 103. It is the second appearance of Taskmaster. I think Taskmaster doesn't get a lot of love. I know, some people are like, oh, he's like a cheap version of Deathstroke. Well, maybe. But he has he had that, what was it, photokinetic powers where he could pretty much anything he saw, he could duplicate. And he puts up a good fight with Spidey. Ant-Man comes into play because in the storyline they basically kill somebody that he knew from prison, because yes, Ant-Man had been in prison. Scott Lang was an ex-con before he became Ant-Man. So great story. Again, great art. Jerry Bingham art, David Michelin writer, Mike Esposito ink, and Bob Sharon doing the color. All right, so the last book, of course I'm going to have this book. Spider-Man Marvel Team Up with Daredevil, 141, the black suit Spidey. It's iconic. You have to have it in the list. Again, the story is about an innocent man going to prison for something he didn't do. Daredevil, can tell just by listening to his heartbeat that he's telling the truth. And, it's just a great book, all-around book. It was May of 1984. Tom DeFalco plot. Jerry Onsley script, and Greg LaRoche, who I just watched the other day on Comic Book Worm Naaman's channel. If you haven't gone and seen the interview with Greg LaRoche, it's not LaRoche, LaRoche, go watch it. Justin, his dad is pretty awesome. Mike Esposito art, and Glenn Wynn colorist. So that is the final book in the Team Up series that I picked. And again, tell me your favorite Team Up. I got them all. These are the ones that I read that really touched me as far as interesting aspects of it. So tell me the ones that you like. Leave a comment down below. Hit that subscribe button. Tell your friends about it. And as always, keep digging.